The great hall of the Galactic Council was filled with light, music and the sound of alien voices. The walls shone with silver crystal, and banners from 100 worlds hung above. Every race had come to see the ceremony. It was not just a meeting. It was a history-making event for the first time. A human had been invited to join the Council of Worlds. John Carter, the human diplomat, stood at the edge of the stage. His hands were shaking, his heart was racing. He was just a man from Earth. Not a warrior, not a king. He wore a simple black suit, far too plain compared to the shining armor and glowing robes of the alien leaders. Yet all eyes were on him. Some were curious, some were hostile. Some were waiting to see him fail. At the center of the stage stood the alien ambassador. Her name was Serenia, and she was unlike anything John had ever seen. Her tall figure glowed faintly with silver patterns across her skin. Her hair shimmered like liquid light, moving as if alive. Her eyes held a power that made even the strongest warriors look away. She was the voice of her people, the guardian of her world, and tonight, she was going to greet the human. John heard a whisper behind him. "Do not embarrass Earth," one of the human aides muttered. "Keep your head down, just smile, just shake her hand." John nodded. Though his chest was heavy with pressure, a single mistake could ruin everything. The music stopped, the hall grew silent. Serenia raised her hand, tall and graceful. Her glowing fingers reached toward him. It was a simple gesture, a handshake, but in that moment, it felt like the weight of the galaxy rested on his hand. John took a deep breath, stepped forward, and extended his hand. His palm met hers. Warmth rushed through him like fire and ice at the same time. His vision blurred, a shock of energy passed between them. A light so bright that the hall itself seemed to tremble. Gasps filled the room. The alien leaders leaned forward, their jeweled eyes wide. Even Serenia froze. Her glow burst brighter, her skin pulsing with light, her body shivered, as if something ancient had been awakened. John quickly pulled his hand back, confused and alarmed. He looked at his palm. Nothing there, but he still felt the heat. The warmth had not left, it had moved inside him. Serenia stepped back, breathing hard. Her glowing skin flickered like a storm. Her guards rushed forward, but she raised her hand to stop them. Her voice, usually calm and proud, now trembled. "This cannot be," she whispered, loud enough for the hall to hear. Whispers spread like fire. "What happened? What did the human do? Is it a weapon? No? It looks like a bond." Every alien in the hall began to speak at once, the noise echoing like thunder. John stood frozen, his chest pounding. "I only shook her hand," he said. His voice cracked, but no one listened. To them, he had done something impossible, something that broke the laws of nature. Serenia's eyes locked on him, glowing brighter than ever. There was fear there, but also something else. Recognition, maybe even awe. Her lips moved again, barely a whisper. "A union has begun." The hall erupted into chaos. Some shouted that this was forbidden. Others demanded he be removed at once. Guards moved closer, their weapons humming. John felt trapped. He wanted to run, but his legs would not move. A voice from the council throne roared above the noise. "Silence!" The hall fell quiet again. The High Chancellor, a giant creature with golden scales, pointed at John. "What have you done, human?" John swallowed hard, his throat dry. "I don't know," he said honestly. "I just shook her hand, but deep inside, he knew it was not normal. He could still feel it. A strange pulse running through his chest. Something alive, something binding. And when he glanced at Serenia, he saw her hand resting on her stomach, her glowing skin flickering wildly, as if something had already changed within her. The crowd gasped again. Alien leaders whispered with fear and awe. John's mind spun. He had only come here to represent Earth, to prove humanity could join the stars. But now, with a single handshake, he had started something no one understood, something that could change the galaxy forever. The night after the ceremony, the Galactic Council was no longer calm. The great hall that once echoed with music now trembled with whispers. From one corner to another, alien leaders gathered in secret. Some spoke in hushed voices, others shouted with anger. The subject was always the same. The human and the ambassador, John Carter, had not slept. He sat in his small guest room on the council station, staring at his hands. They looked normal, 5 fingers, pale skin, no marks. But deep inside he felt something strange, a slow rhythm, like a second heartbeat that was not his own. Every time he closed his eyes, he remembered the look on Serenia's glowing face, the shock, the fear, and the whispered words, "A union has begun." Meanwhile, outside his door, guards stood watch. Not to protect him, but to keep him from leaving. He was no longer a guest, he was a question, a mystery, a threat. Every step he took now shook the politics of the galaxy. In the council chambers, arguments grew louder. "This cannot be allowed," shouted a horned alien general, his voice like thunder. "The human touched her and broke sacred law. It must be punished." Another leader with crystal eyes leaned forward. "Or perhaps this is destiny," she said. The prophecies spoke of a stranger who would awaken the blood of the ambassador. The word spread faster than fire. Prophecies, curses, miracles, weapons. Each alien twisted the story to their own advantage. But one truth could not be denied. Serenia had changed. Her glow was unstable, her body reacting in ways unseen for generations. And the only one connected to it was John in her private chamber. Serenia sat on a silver chair, breathing heavily. Her hand never left her stomach. Her glowing skin pulsed with waves of light. Her attendants looked at her with fear. "Ambassador, should we call the healers?" they asked. But Serenia only shook her head. "No healer can explain this," she whispered. Her thoughts returned to the human's touch. His hand had carried no poison, no weapon, and yet in that instant her body had answered him, as if their worlds were never meant to be separate. Late that night, when the halls were quiet, John's door opened. Two cloaked figures slipped inside. He jumped to his feet, ready to defend himself. But then he recognized her, Serenia. Her glow dimmed under the cloak, but her presence was undeniable. Behind her came one of her guards. "Silent and watchful, why are you here?" John whispered, his voice trembling. "If anyone sees you, they already whisper about us." Serenia cut him off. Her voice was soft but carried the weight of a storm. "I needed to see you to know what you felt." John hesitated. "I don't know what happened," he said. "But something inside me hasn't stopped since I touched your hand. It's like there's a part of you." "Inside me." Serenia's silver eyes softened. "I feel it too," she admitted. "Do you know what this means, human?" John shook his head. "No. Tell me." She took a deep breath, her glow flickering. "My people call it the binding spark," she said. "It happens once in an age, when two lives are joined by fate. It is not supposed to happen with outsiders, and yet it has." Her hand pressed against her stomach again, "And now, I carry proof of it." John's eyes widened, his chest tightened. "What do you mean?" he asked. Serenia's lips trembled, but her words were clear. "There is life growing inside me." John stumbled back, shaking his head. "That's impossible." "We just shook hands." But Serenia's glow flared, her body trembling with the truth. Her guard's hand tightened on his blade, ready to strike if the human denied her. Yet Serenia raised her hand, stopping him. "You must understand," she said. "The council will not see this as a blessing. They will see it as a weapon, a danger. Some will want me silenced. Others will want you executed, and many will want the child." The word hung in the air like thunder, "child." John's thoughts raced. He had come here to speak for Earth, to show peace, not to be caught in a storm of politics and impossible life. Yet now the fate of the ambassador and something unborn was tied to him. Suddenly a loud bang echoed in the corridor. Voices shouted. Footsteps rushed closer. Serenia's guard drew his weapon, eyes sharp. "They're coming," he hissed. Serenia pulled back her cloak, her glow bright and wild. "John," she said urgently, "from this moment, your life is no longer your own. If you wish to survive, you must trust me, do you?" John's heart pounded, his throat dry. He looked at her, at the glow in her eyes, at the fear and strength in her voice. He swallowed hard and nodded. "Yes, I trust you." The door burst open, soldiers stormed inside, weapons ready. But before they could strike, Serenia raised her hand. A wave of silver light exploded, blinding them all. When the brightness faded, the room was empty. The human and the ambassador were gone, leaving only whispers in the galactic halls, whispers that would soon become a storm. The silver light faded. John blinked hard, his eyes burning. When his vision cleared, he was no longer in his small guest room. Instead, he found himself standing in a hidden chamber, deep beneath the council station. The walls shimmered faintly with ancient markings. The air smelled of burning metal and strange herbs. It was quiet, too quiet, except for the sound of his own rapid breathing. Serenia stood before him, her cloak gone. Her body glowed faintly. Weaker than before, she looked tired, her face pale. Her breath uneven, yet her eyes never left his. Her guard remained at the entrance, scanning the shadows for danger. John's heart still pounded from the escape. "What just happened?" "Where are we?" he asked. "This place is safe," Serenia whispered. "No one will find us here. It was built long ago by my ancestors. A chamber meant for secrets, for truths too dangerous to be spoken in the open." John swallowed, his throat dry. "And what truth are you going to tell me?" Her silver eyes flickered. "The one I cannot hide any longer," she said softly. "The one you must hear even if it destroys you." She took a step closer, her glow casting shadows across his face. "When you touched my hand, it was not an accident," she began. "Our bodies, our essences connected. Your human spark lit something within me, a spark that only awakens when the universe chooses." John shook his head, struggling to understand. "I'm just a man," he said. "I'm not special. I didn't mean to do anything." Serenia's lips trembled. "And yet you did. When your hand touched mine, my body answered you. Not with fear, not with pain, but with creation." John froze, his stomach tightening. "You mean—" "Yes," Serenia said, her voice breaking. "There is life inside me, your life and mine. Bound together." The words echoed through the chamber. John felt dizzy, his legs weak. A child? From a handshake? From him? His mind screamed that it was impossible. But the glowing pulse on Serenia's skin told him otherwise. He had seen it with his own eyes. Her body reacting, her hand always over her stomach. Now it made a terrible kind of sense. "Why tell me this now?" John whispered. "Why not keep it hidden?" "Because it cannot be hidden," Serenia said firmly. "The Council already suspects some of them will try to use this life as a weapon. Others will try to erase it before it can be born. And if they discover you are the one bound to me, they will destroy you without mercy." Her words struck like knives. John's hands clenched at his sides. "So what do you want me to do?" he asked. "I don't even understand what's happening." For the first time, Serenia's proud mask cracked. Tears shimmered in her silver eyes. "I want you to survive," she whispered. "I want you to protect what we created. Even if the galaxy turns against us." Her hand reached out, trembling. "And I want you to believe me. Even when the whole council calls me a liar." John stared at her. The thought of becoming a father had never entered his mind. He had no family back on Earth, no one waiting for him, and now here stood an alien woman telling him that fate had chosen him, that he was bound to her forever. His chest tightened with fear, but also with something he could not name, a strange sense of responsibility. Before he could answer, the guard at the door hissed sharply. "Voices in the tunnels," he warned. John's blood ran cold. "They've already found us?" Serenia's glow flared for a moment. "They will keep hunting us," she said. "Because of me, because of you. Because of what grows within." The footsteps outside grew louder, the echo of soldiers in the stone corridors. John's instinct screamed at him to run, but Serenia caught his arm, holding him steady. "There is no running anymore," she said, her voice low and fierce. "You are part of this now, John Carter. You are the father of the future." Her words shook him more than the sound of boots approaching. Father of the future. The phrase burned into his mind like fire. He wanted to protest, to deny it. But when he looked into her eyes, glowing with both fear and hope, he realized she was not lying. The truth was written across her very skin. The footsteps stopped just outside the chamber. The guard raised his blade, ready to fight. John's fists clenched, his heart hammering. "Tell me what to do," he whispered urgently. "If I'm part of this, then tell me how to protect it." Serenia looked at him, her glow flickering like a fading star. Then she leaned close and whispered words that made his blood run cold. "You must stand before the council and claim me." The door rattled. Weapons hummed. The soldiers were about to break in, and John realized he had only moments to decide. Either run from the storm or step into it. Either deny the impossible or embrace it. Either abandon the ambassador or confess to the galaxy that he was bound to her forever. The hidden chamber shook as heavy boots pounded outside. John's chest tightened, his breath quick and sharp. He had never been a soldier, never been a fighter, but right now, survival was the only thought in his mind. Serenia stood tall, her silver glow flickering. Her guard gripped his blade with both hands. Ready to face whoever entered, the voices outside grew louder. Angry, commanding, "The human is inside. Break down the door!" The stone door rattled as soldiers struck it. John stepped back, panic rising. They'll kill us, won't they? He whispered. Serenia did not answer. Her eyes locked on the door. Her silence was louder than any words. The door burst open. Shards of stone scattering across the floor. Dozens of armored soldiers stormed in, their weapons glowing. They wore the mark of the Crimson Alliance, a faction known for cruelty. Their leader, a tall alien with jagged horns, stepped forward. His eyes burned with hatred as they locked on John. There he is, the horned general spat. The human who dares touch our sacred blood. Hand him over, Ambassador, or we will drag him from your corpse. John froze, his stomach twisting with fear. He wanted to shout that he was innocent, that it had been just a handshake, but deep down he knew nothing would change their minds. To them, he was guilty the moment Serenia's body had changed. Serenia's glow flared. Her voice thundered across the chamber. You will not touch him. The soldiers faltered, but the general sneered. You are corrupted, Ambassador. Your word means nothing. You carry a thing that should never exist. We will end this blasphemy before it spreads. Her hand moved to her stomach. Protectively, John's heart clenched when he saw it. She was not just defending him, she was defending the life inside her. He felt something stir within him. A strength he never knew, and for the first time, fear turned into anger. You want me? John shouted, stepping forward. Then face me, not her. The soldiers laughed, the general smirked. What can a human do against warriors of the Crimson Alliance? But Serenia's eyes widened. She saw something they did not. The binding spark had changed John too. His skin glowed faintly, a pulse of silver flickering across his arm. The soldiers moved to strike. The guard leapt forward, blade flashing. Chaos filled the chamber, sparks flying as steel clashed with alien weapons. John felt a strange energy burning in his chest. When a soldier lunged at him, John raised his hand by instinct. A burst of silver light erupted, knocking the attacker across the room. The chamber froze, all eyes turning to him. John stared at his glowing hand, trembling. I didn't mean to. But it was too late. The soldiers saw not a weak human, but a threat, a weapon. The general roared, Seize him! The child and the human must die. Serenia's voice cut through the chaos. Run! Her guard fought desperately, buying them time. John grabbed her hand, and together they rushed into the tunnels. The shouts of soldiers followed, their footsteps echoing in the dark. The tunnels twisted endlessly. Old and half-collapsed, Serenia guided him, her glow lighting the path. Her breath was heavy, her steps unsteady. John noticed her trembling, the strain of her body carrying both her own power and the life inside. He tightened his grip, holding her steady. You can't keep this pace, he said. I'll carry you if I have to. She gave him a weak smile. You are stronger than you believe, John Carter. Perhaps the spark chose well. Behind them, the sound of pursuit grew louder. The Crimson Alliance would not stop to them. This was not about peace or prophecy. It was about control. If the child lived, it could unite the galaxy or tear it apart. And no faction wanted to lose power to destiny at last. They reached a hidden gate that opened to the city beyond. Neon towers rose above the night, the streets alive with strange alien crowds. Serenia pulled her cloak tight. Hiding her glow, John followed, his heart still racing. Every shadow looked like an enemy, every face like a spy. As they moved through the market streets, whispers followed them. That's the human, some muttered. Is it true? Did he bind with her? Others hissed in disgust. He cursed the ambassador, doomed her people. The weight of 1,000 eyes pressed down on John. He had never felt so exposed, so hunted. They reached a small safe house at the edge of the city. The guard sealed the doors behind them. For a moment, silence returned, broken only by John's heavy breathing. He turned to Serenia, anger and confusion boiling inside. They want me dead, they want you dead. How long do you think we can keep running? Serenia's eyes softened. As long as it takes, she said, until we find a way to turn fear into hope. Her hand pressed once more against her stomach. And until this life is safe, John looked at her. Then at his own glowing hand, he knew now. There was no turning back. He was bound not just to her, but to the storm that was coming. The factions would never let them rest. For the first time, he said the words out loud. I'm part of this. Serenia met his eyes and whispered, You are not just part of it. You are the key. The safe house was dark and silent. The walls were made of old stone, marked with forgotten signs of an ancient people. Inside, only a single lantern glowed faintly. John sat on a bench, his head in his hands. His mind was spinning with fear, questions, and doubts. Serenia rested on a silver chair nearby, her cloak draped around her, but the faint glow of her skin still leaked through. Her breathing was shallow. Her hand never left her stomach. The guard stood at the door, silent as stone. Listening for every sound outside, John finally broke the silence. "I need answers," he said, his voice low. "I need to know if this is real. If this child you speak of actually exists, because right now, I feel like I'm living inside a nightmare." Serenia lifted her gaze, her silver eyes heavy with both strength and exhaustion. "You will have your proof," she whispered. She nodded to the guard, who stepped out briefly moments later. 2 alien healers entered, cloaked figures carrying glowing instruments. They bowed low to Serenia but looked at John with suspicion. John's stomach twisted as they approached. The healers set their instruments on the floor. One placed a glowing crystal against Serenia's stomach. The other whispered words in a language John didn't understand. Slowly, the crystal lit up, pulsing with faint silver light. The room fell silent, then the glow grew stronger, steady and rhythmic, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. John froze, his breath caught in his throat. It was a heartbeat, small but strong. He stared at the glowing crystal, then at Serenia's stomach. There's really something there," he whispered. The healer nodded slowly. "It is no illusion, no sickness. A life is forming, a life that carries her essence." And his, the second healer's eyes narrowed. "This has never happened before. No outsider has ever bound with our kind. This child is impossible. It should not exist." John's chest tightened. He didn't know whether to feel fear or wonder. He felt the weight of it crash down on him. This wasn't just a rumor anymore. This wasn't just politics or prophecy. This was real. There was a child inside Serenia, and somehow, impossibly, he was part of it. The healers whispered to each other. Worried and uncertain, finally they turned to Serenia. "You must be careful, Ambassador," one warned. "Your body is changing faster than normal. The spark burns bright, but it may also burn you. This child carries power, and with power comes danger." Serenia nodded. "Calm but firm. I will carry it. No matter the risk, this child is not a curse. It is a gift." The healers bowed and left, leaving the chamber in heavy silence again. John stared at the fading glow of the crystal. The sound of the heartbeat still echoed in his ears. It was the sound of something fragile, something new. And for the first time, he realized it was also the sound of responsibility. Serenia looked at him, her voice soft but steady. "You see now, John Carter, this is not a dream, not a lie. You are bound to me, and to what grows within me. You are the father of the child of 2 worlds." John felt his throat tighten. "I never asked for this," he said quietly. "I came here to make peace, to speak for Earth. I didn't want to become some father of destiny." Serenia's eyes softened. "Do you think I asked for this? I only wanted to serve my people, to guard them. But the universe chose us both, and now we must carry this burden together." Before John could answer, the guard at the door stiffened. He whispered urgently, "Scouts are outside. The Crimson Alliance hunts us still." Serenia closed her eyes, her glow flickering faintly. "They will never stop," she said. "They will call this child a weapon. They will call you a thief of our blood. And they will do everything to take the child from us or destroy it." John clenched his fists. "No," he said firmly, his voice shaking but strong. "They'll have to go through me first." Serenia studied him for a long moment. In his trembling hands she saw fear, but in his eyes, she saw something else, resolve. "You speak like a protector," she said softly. John gave a bitter laugh. "I don't even know how to fight." "But you will learn," Serenia replied. "Because now you have something worth fighting for." Outside, faint shouts echoed in the night. The Crimson Alliance was closing in. The guard tightened his grip on his blade. John felt the strange spark burn in his chest again. A silver flicker ran across his hand. He looked down at it, his breath catching. "I can feel it," he whispered. "It's like the heartbeat is inside me too." Serenia gave him a faint smile, tired but full of quiet pride. "Then you already carry more than you know." "John Carter." Her hand moved gently to her stomach again. "And together, we will protect the child of 2 worlds." The lantern flickered. Shadows danced across the walls beyond the safe house. Soldiers marched through the streets. The galaxy was stirring. Factions whispering, armies preparing. And all of it now circled around one impossible truth. A human and an alien had created life together. a life that could either unite the stars or set them on fire. The safe house did not remain safe for long by morning. The city streets outside roared with marching soldiers. Flags of different factions waved in the cold wind. Armored ships hovered above the towers, their weapons glowing. The galaxy was no longer whispering. It was preparing for war. John Carter stood by the narrow window, staring at the growing armies. He had never seen so many soldiers in one place. Some wore crimson armor, others bore golden symbols. Each army claimed they came to protect peace. But John knew the truth. They had come for Serenia, and for the child inside her. Behind him, Serenia sat in silence, her cloak drawn tight. Her glow was weaker, her strength fading, but her eyes still carried steel. "The council has summoned us," the guard said grimly. "They demand you both appear before the whole assembly." John turned sharply. "They want to put us on trial," he muttered. "No," Serenia said softly. "They want to decide if we live or die." The words hung heavy in the air. John's fists clenched. How can they judge something they don't even understand? It was just a handshake, but he stopped himself. He had seen the glowing crystal, the heartbeat. It was no longer just a handshake. It was real, and the galaxy knew it. That afternoon, they were escorted under heavy guard. The great hall of the council had transformed. It was no longer filled with music or banners. Now it bristled with weapons, with soldiers ready to strike at a single command. Alien leaders sat on thrones carved from crystal, steel, and stone. The High Chancellor, covered in golden scales, sat at the center, his eyes burning with judgment. When John and Serenia entered, the hall erupted. Shouts, accusations, curses, and demands thundered from every corner. "End the abomination. Protect the child of destiny. Kill the human before the spark spreads." The noise rattled the very walls. Serenia raised her hand, her glow flaring for a moment. "Silence," she commanded, her voice echoed, proud but weary. "This life is not a weapon, not a curse. It is proof that our worlds are not so different. It is proof that unity is possible," the crowd murmured. Some shaken, some enraged. The High Chancellor leaned forward. "And what of you, human?" he demanded. "Do you claim this impossible child? Do you stand as its father, or do you deny it?" John froze, his chest tight. Every eye in the galaxy seemed to bore into him. He felt small, weak, out of place. He remembered his first day here, wearing his plain black suit. He had only wanted to represent Earth now. The galaxy waited for his answer. Serenia's silver eyes turned to him, full of quiet plea. The words of last night echoed in his mind. "You must stand before the council and claim me." John took a deep breath. He stepped forward, his hands trembling but his voice steady. "I am John Carter of Earth," he said. "And yes, I claim this child not as a weapon, not as a curse, but as my own. If you want to call me father, then I will be father. If you want to call me guilty, then I will be guilty. But I will not abandon Serenia or the life we have created." The hall fell silent. Even the soldiers lowered their weapons in shock. The High Chancellor narrowed his eyes. "You understand what you say, human? By claiming this child, you tie Earth to this fate. You invite war upon your world." John's heart pounded. But for once he did not flinch. "Then let the war come," he said fiercely. "Because I will fight for this child even if I stand alone." Gasps rippled through the chamber. Some alien leaders whispered in awe, others hissed with fury. The Crimson Alliance general roared, "He speaks treason! Execute him now!" Dozens of soldiers raised their weapons, ready to fire. But before the order could be given, Serenia stood, her glow blazing bright. "You dare raise weapons in the Hall of Peace?" she thundered. Her silver light filled the room, forcing soldiers to shield their eyes. "This human has done nothing but show courage, and you would answer it with blood? If you strike him, then strike me as well, but know this. If this child dies, the galaxy will break, for it carries not only my essence, but yours too." The leaders stirred uneasily. Her words were dangerous, but they cut deep. If the spark was truly universal, then killing it might mean killing hope itself. The High Chancellor raised his hand, and the hall grew silent again. "Enough," he said, his voice like thunder. "The council will not decide today, but know this. Human and ambassador, from this moment forward, you are no longer free. Every faction will watch you. Every army will follow you."
The fate of the galaxy now rests on the child you carry. John and Serenia were led away, but as they left, John caught sight of the crowd. Some looked at him with hatred, but others looked at him with something new, respect. maybe even hope. When the doors closed behind them, John whispered, "They won't stop, will they?" Serenia shook her head slowly. "No," she said, her voice steady. "They will hunt us forever, until the child is born, and the galaxy chooses peace or war."